Ladies and gentlemen, Moonton is doubling down with the Tactician class inside Watcher of Realms. And I just realized now that I'm looking at this that apparently I have no Summoning Stone and I have no Hollow standing over here with the Summoning. So I can still open the Summoning though, thankfully. You know, I can still spend money on the game if I want to. But we have Moriden, who is now a guaranteed Tactician that everybody can get for 200 summons. Interestingly, we do also have the 20x up for him, obviously, but we don't have any other featured summon banners currently, which usually these coincide with some sort of like a 15 or a 20x for other heroes as well. But I'm going to be pulling for this. I have 90 shards, I have 10,000 gems, and then we can always just convert champions to gems if needed, heroes to gems, same thing, right? We always talk about this, champions, heroes, it is what it is. Moriden. Absolutely badass looking hero. I don't know if he's amazing or terrible. I haven't had a chance to test him, and I haven't got him yet, obviously, and I haven't even had a chance to look at any videos on him. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been way behind news in this game. Life is incredibly busy. I have to catch up, but it is what it is. Let's go ahead and take a look at the basic. He deals 120% magic damage to one enemy, or just damage. My brain is so cooked because I just got done an 11-hour shift that I just straight up added words to that sentence that weren't even there. It is what it is. The talent, when deployed, triggers Deep Cleave that deals 300% damage or defense penetration damage to one enemy in basic attack range. If no enemies are in range, enters charging state and gains 1 stack of Dark Infusion. Now, each Dark Infusion is going to increase the base attributes by 10% during the next Prince of Darkness state and extends the state duration by 4 seconds. This effect can stack up to 5 times. Now, interestingly, I could not find any sort of a Prince of Darkness state indication with inside his kit, so we're going to go through that and see if we can figure that out. At max stacks, so at 5 stacks, right, I believe. Doesn't even tell us how many stacks are max. Anyways, either way, at max stacks, changes charging state to restore 10 rage for the hero per second, which is not bad. If we look at his ultimate, it's going to cost 1100, so it's going to take a lot of seconds to charge this up, but the extra rage regen is quite nice. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the passives first. So Soul Sunder, during the ultimate, Soul Strike has a 20% chance to be enhanced, ignoring 40% of the target's defense, and restoring 30 rage for the hero upon the cast. So Soul Strike is something else inside his kit, I guess. Not entirely sure. Alright, so we have Deep Cleave that's getting triggered. Then we have Dark Infusion, which is charging up the Prince of Darkness state, which is also not referenced inside his kit. Actually, it is. Sorry. So it is referenced inside the ultimate. But anyways, let's go ahead. Let's take a look at the next passive. After maintaining Prince of Darkness state for 80 seconds in total, so this is going to stack across ultimates, the hero permanently gains 30% damage increase. Each enemy killed reduces the time needed to gain this effect by 5 seconds, which is pretty crazy, right? So with books, this is going to go down to a base of 60 seconds as well, plus every kill is going to reduce that even further. Last final passive here is a bond skill, which obtain hero Valara Soul's Guide to unlock the following bonus effect. Reduces initial deployment cost by 6, which for a 18 cost unit, that is huge, and gains max stacks of Dark Infusion when deployed. So you can essentially have him immediately increase his base stats an astronomical amount and then start charging rage, which is pretty cool. Now finally, Black Wind. This is where we're talking about the Prince of Darkness. I missed this on the first time looking through. My big old beanbag is kind of right in the way of the books as well. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. So Black Wind chooses and teleports to an unoccupied ground tile within 3 tiles. So if you've ever played Bloons Tower Defense 6, if you use the Super Monkey, he can basically dark shift around to different areas within inside his little kind of like deployment zone. Same kind of thing with this. Upon arrival, triggers Whirlwind Strike, dealing 400% defense penetration damage to one enemy within 2 tiles of the hero. Then enters the Prince of Darkness state. So essentially, this guy spawns in, does a ton of damage, starts charging himself up, Then, with his ultimate, does a ton of damage. Then he's going to enter the Prince of Darkness, where his basic attack becomes Soul Strike. So that's the other passive that it was referencing. I should have looked at the ultimate a little bit more in depth. These heroes are getting complicated that they're releasing people. When charging his power during the Prince of Darkness state, Moriden grants 1.6% rage regen per second to allies within 2 tiles. Takes effect only when stronger than the current buff/debuff on the same attribute. This is pretty crazy. So this is going to be another rage regen source for your heroes, which is obviously something we always need more of, right? We know how important somebody like Hollow is and Eloin, those sorts of things. So having that extra rage regen is going to be absolutely fantastic. Now, that being said, we've fumbled and bumbled for 5.5 minutes. Let's go ahead and start opening some damn shards, people. I'm just going to skip through the ones that are all rares. I'll probably let them play out if they have at least one epic in there. I am hoping for at least one legendary during this opening as well. That would be pretty cool. Now, something I'd be very curious to hear about down below is if you guys prefer to know what you're getting from the shards. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at how long it's been since I got a legendary. Yeah, it's been, so it's 10:40. It's not been long. We may end up just hitting pity. But essentially what I'm getting at is inside Raid Shadow Legends, when you open a 10 pull or whatnot, it plays the same animation, right? There's no, it continues spinning, and then you see it go purple, and then it keeps spinning, and then it goes gold. You just straight up get that animation right there. That same animation plays no matter what you're opening, right? So that is good because it kind of adds a little bit of like suspense to each pull, right? If you can't see like what the highest rarity hero or champion is going to be from that particular 10 pull, whereas having the you know, for example, showing that it's purple kind of removes some of that suspense, right? I can see, oh, this 10 pull, I'm not getting anything better than purple, you know, cool, it's whatever, no need to sit here and watch it. But the other thing that I see is like, when I do finally get that gold, it kind of raises the suspense of like, where's it going to be? For me, at least, I like to bet in my mind whether it's going to be like top row or bottom, and then, you know, which slot it's going to be in. So like if it's going to be over here or if it's going to be here, I'm a bit strange like that, right? But I'd be curious to hear about that. Which method do you guys prefer? I think it is definitely a nice change of pace to have it, you know, just kind of keep spinning, and then you see it go gold, and it's just, you know, super exciting. 3 epics from the 110 pull. That is pretty crazy, ladies and gentlemen. Now, that being said, we are actually hoping for a lot of rares. Certainly not from that pull, apparently, but we are hoping for a lot of rares as opposed to epics or obviously the greens, the uncommons, because the rares we can sell and turn into diamonds, which will allow us to keep opening, which is what we want, right? We need more shards so we can get this guaranteed hero. We do, of course, also have the like the usual summoning events going on right now for the fusion that's going on, which is another horse-based tactician. They must have hired an equestrian. We got a legendary, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what it is. Is it going to be Moriden? There's no way we got to the 200. So let's see. Give me something besides Moriden. It is Anai. Okay, interesting. So, I will certainly take Anai. It's a duplicate. She's not new, right? I already have her. A lot of summoning points there, though, certainly. So we'll go ahead and we'll go back here. We need 60 more shards. Let's go ahead and exit out of all these pop-ups. Let's go sell a few things, right? Something like this. Give ourselves a bunch more slots, a bunch more gems. Let's go back to the summons. Pull these. Bulk select everybody over. Now let's go ahead and keep opening. So we only need 60 more shards, which shouldn't be anything too crazy. And is alright. She's good for some of the Immortal Codex bosses. My account, I'll kind of show you guys at the end as well if you're interested in following along with the count, but my account has gotten even more stacked recently. I have managed to pull myself a Talon, which I don't think I really talked about on YouTube. And then very recently here during the Ancient Summonings, I actually managed to pull myself a Ardea as well, which is the first one that I've ever pulled. And then I A1'd her, which I somewhat do regret already. I could have saved that A1 for somebody maybe a little bit more impactful, but I mean, realistically, I'm beating up pretty much all content inside the game apart from some of the clan boss stuff, so it is what it is at the end of the day, I suppose, and she'll be very good for Guild Wars as well. This should be our Moriden, if I'm not mistaken. Now, what would be pretty cool is if we got a double legendary here, though I doubt that's going to happen, but one can certainly hope. And here we go, it is Mr. Moriden, right? Yes, I believe so. This is his cool little intro. He has his own video, of course. If you're curious how that looks, I won't spoil it for you. You can go ahead and experience it yourself when you pull him. Let's go ahead and claim our juicy rewards from the arrival of heroes. Right, so we obviously maxed that out. Something I noticed here that's incredibly cool is when you look at the ultimate leaderboard where these people have like 124,000 points already, there's this merchandise box. So it contains one random t-shirt, keychain, and set of acrylic stands. So this is real life merchandise that they're giving out to players who push and get to the top of these leaderboards, which is absolutely insane. Super cool stuff. I'd love to see more titles doing stuff like that because it really just incentivizes spending, obviously, right? So, you know, Moonton's certainly not going to complain, considering that it's going to motivate everybody to spend more money on their game. We do obviously collect all the shards there as well. We may open a couple more here at some point just to see if we can't get to like the extra 500 gems and whatnot. But you know what? Yeah, we'll open a few more. So we'll go ahead and we'll just go until we're like a little bit lower on gems here because we have plenty of rares to trade back anyways. There is probably going to be some summoning events that are happening here soon with the ancient shards, but I mean, it kind of is what it is. I know what I'm getting myself into. I think I mentioned it already, but I didn't even know there was a guaranteed coming up, so I'm lucky that I managed to save enough shards to get this guy, because he does look pretty crazy as well. I obviously did a review on the other hero whose name I can't even remember at the moment, but the knight they added who did like defense ignoring damage and all that, and he protected a fighter and whatnot, and he just turned out to be super mediocre, so I was a little bit disappointed by him, but it is what it is. I hope Moriden is going to be significantly better. We got a legendary, ladies and gentlemen. We got a legendary to finish it off. This is the last 10 pull of the video. Let's see who we got. I'm not really needing anyone, but a good duplicate would be nice. Who is this? Is this, it's not Zealous, it's Moriden. Okay, interesting. Okay. A Lord is always welcome, certainly when we can empower that Lord as well, right? A significant amount of points there for our summoning events as well. So, you know, it would have been more exciting to get her if I didn't have her already. We do get a skill crystal there, though. I'll go ahead and show you her, too. She is definitely a pretty decent Lord, right? So she's definitely not in the same camp as somebody like a Demi, who's absolute booty cheeks. I already have one of her that's like sort of built right here, so I can get her A1 now. What does that actually do? Basic attack damage plus 10%. Exciting stuff. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the top here. I'll show you my Ardea. So this is Ardea here. Obviously, I have her A1'd, fully booked out, and then this is the build that I have going on her. So 28,000 on the attack. We have 444 on the attack speed, 88, and then 271 on the crit rate and crit damage, respectively, with the classic Gearbear YT 0% rage regen, ladies and gentlemen. That being said, though, this brings us to the conclusion of this particular summoning video. I hope everybody is having a great day out there. Thank you guys all so much for watching. I'll see you next time.